Hello everyone, welcome back to another informative video. In this video we are going to talk about Irish potato nutrition. Now this is going to be a very basic but fundamental video as it relates to the information that I will pass on. Now there was a subscriber that asked about how what kind of fertilizer they should use to fertilize your Irish potato. Now this should be a video that I should have made maybe a couple months ago. So I apologize for just doing it now. So let's get into the video. Now, of course, if you are growing in the soil, when it comes on to Irish potato nutrition or any crop of economical importance, you want to ensure that you do a soil test. Now, in doing a soil test, you are going to basically match what is in the soil to what the plant needs to complete its life cycle and give you great production. For example, if the Irish let us use nitrogen. Nitrogen is just one of the nutrient element that Irish potato needs. Nitrogen is one of the macronutrients, the primary macronutrients. Now, let's say for example, Irish potato needs 150 parts per million of nitrogen, right? You do your soil test, and when the soil test results come back, you realize that the soil only has 100 ppm, right? That is showing a short of 50, because remember we said that the plant itself needs 150 ppm of nitrogen, but your soil only has 100. So what that means? That means you have to supplement the soil with the other 50 ppm of nitrogen if you want the plant to properly carry out its production, right? So that is basically the purpose of a soil test, and the soil test will basically give you much more information. It will tell you pH, right? It will give you the levels of many different nutrient elements in the soil, right? And what else? It gives you some more information, right? But the point is, it is always good or best practice to do a soil test before you start your production, or before you start growing your plants. So what I'm going to say to you now is that Fersan, their slogan is, I think, first on the land. They are a fertilizer company, but they also have pesticides on the market as well, which is called, two of them I know of, First Strike and Eradicate. Now they are predominantly a plant nutrition fertilizer company where they specialize in both liquid fertilizer and granular. They also have special blends that are specifically blended for certain crops. Now, fortunate for Irish potato farmers, Irish potato is one of the crops that Fersan make a special blend for, and it is called the Potato Liza. So if you should go, and I'm going to put up a little clip on the screen, if you should go on the Fersan website, you basically navigate to where you'll see the Potato Liza. Now when you click on that Potato Liza, you will further notice that they have two types: the Potato Liza starter and the Potato Liza finisher. Now, in very basic terms, you can understand why it is called the Potato Liza starter and the Potato Liza finisher. What does start mean? Start means that you use it at the beginning. What does finish mean? Finish means that you use it at the ending. So you use the Potato Liza starter when the plant is just planted. So for example, if you plant your Irish potato seeds, you give it, say for example, a week and a half, 2 weeks, you start seeing sprouting, and as soon as you start seeing sprouting and they develop to a certain height, right? Like maybe about 6-7 inches, then you can basically apply your Potato Liza starter. You can apply it at that time. However, you can also apply the starter at planting as well. You can apply it at planting, right? So what you want to do in applying it at planting is that when you're planting the seed, you want to basically put the fertilizer in the furrow, right? Put the fertilizer in the furrow, then put a layer of soil on top of the, maybe like a 2 inch layer of soil on top of the fertilizer, and then put the seed on top of the soil, because you don't want the seed to be directly resting on the fertilizer granules, because the fertilizers are salts, so they can actually um, cause burning on the potato tuber itself, and cause open wounds, which can further cause bacterial and fungal infection. So you want to ensure that if you are going to use it at planting, put the fertilizer first, put the soil on top of fertilizer, and then put the seed on top of the soil. So when your seed starts sprouts and start putting out roots, it will basically um, have nutrients readily available, which will give it a good boost. However, if you want to go, just plant the seeds first. When they sprout, um, you fertilize it, right? After they have sprouted, right? Then you can do that. Now that is for the Potato Liza starter. Now for the Potato Liza finisher, you basically use that in the to finish your the crop growth in terms of building up the tubers. So this fertilizer is specially formulated. The Potato Liza finisher is specially formulated to develop the Irish potato tuber, right? So on a more technical perspective, what I want you to understand here is that with the potato growth and development, you have vegetative stage and you have the generative stage, or the reproductive stage. The generative and the reproductive stage are basically the same thing. So in the vegetative stage, that is where you use the Potato Liza starter. That Potato Liza starter is basically specially blended to boost the vegetative growth of the plant. So you'll find that the plant, this fertilizer, the Potato Liza starter, will basically um, develop the leaves looking green and pretty, develop the branches, develop the plant stems more thicker, to facilitate better and more production of sugars. Now, the finisher now is more specially designed to assist the plant in sending those sugars to the sink. When I say sink, I mean the potato tuber. It is specially designed to develop the tuber where the plant creates a lot of sugars and pump them directly into the tuber. So that is where the Potato Liza does its reproductive or generative work for the plant, right? So you use the Potato Liza starter in the vegetative stage, right? So we all know that the potato, within 12 weeks, you're basically going to start you basically can start reaping the potato. So as potato growers, you would know, okay, then the plant will stay in vegetative stage for this long. So applying this amount of fertilizer will basically help the plant to the vegetative stage. However, the fertilizer that you will add, the Potato Liza starter that you will add, it will basically help the plant throughout its life cycle, but it's just that the Potato Liza finisher is basically tweaked a little bit to add in some more things to that Potato Liza starter, right? Some more things that the plant will use more of when it is in its reproductive stage. So it's not like the plant will totally cut off and say, okay, then look, I'm done with the starter. I don't need any more of that. It is still nutrients that the plant will take up. but it's just that the Potato Liza finisher has more of some of the specific nutrients that is needed in the generative stage of the plant, right? So basically, the Potato Liza starter and the finisher works together to give you this beautiful Irish potato plant and this beautiful production resulting in great yields. So I would basically um, advise you to check out the Fersan website. There are a lot of Fersan agronomists in different represent for different parishes. So you can basically check out their website and you can basically contact them and you'll find out which Fersan representative is responsible for your location. You can call them up and they'll come on your farm and give you more details on how you can get the fertilizer and so on. So um it has been a fertilizer that is being used by farmers, Irish potato, big commercial Irish potato farmers. So it's a very reputable um company, and they have proven themselves, and um you know I must commend them because it takes off a lot of pressure off the farmer. You don't have to be a plant nutritionist to grow Irish potato, because they have already um, scientifically worked out the maths in terms of how much of this nutrient, how much of that nutrient, at what stage, how much of this nutrient it want at vegetative stage, how much of this nutrient it want at generative stage, right? And all you have to do is just take the starter, apply at starting when you're planting or after seeds have germinated, and then when you see you start having production in terms of you start seeing little Irish potato coming out, you give it the Potato Liza finisher. And what I also want to show you is that you don't necessarily have to wait until you start seeing tubers, because you could always graduate the soil and look to see if you're seeing tubers. You don't have to do that. If you have an understanding, if you have been growing Irish potato for a while, and you know that, okay, then when the plant reaches 4 weeks, because at 12 weeks you're basically going to reap it. When the plant reaches at 4 weeks or 5 weeks, right, it is going to basically start transitioning into or preparing to go into generative mode. So even though you're not seeing a tuber, you understand that this is the time when the plant will start going into generative mode, right? So after growing Irish potato for a while, you will understand these things. And if you don't know, you can basically ask other farmers who have been doing it. So even before you start seeing the tubers, you can apply the finisher. Apply the finisher, because the finisher will help to help the plant to focus on that change in biochemical process that is taking place, even though you are not seeing the tuber developing as yet. It is actually kind of making changes to facilitate that heavy flow of sugars into tubers that it's going to develop, right? So what the reserve that it has, or the capacity that it has in preparing to develop those tubers of yours, is basically what will determine what your yield is going to be, how many potatoes you're going to get, how big they are going to be, and so on, right? So genetics is one part. Of course, they can genetically program for you to get certain yield, but then now if the environmental conditions, nutrition, and so on is not right, you're not going to be able to accomplish that yield, or to realize that yield, or to get the kind of production that you want. So yeah, check Fersan. They are a good source, and then it is already there for you. So just make use of it, right? Make use of the fertilizer program that they have, and yeah, have a great production. If you have any questions in the comments, please put them in the comments area. Please remember to subscribe to the channel. Bye bye.